Okay, we gonna have DJ Cassie right now get on the ones and twos.
Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked.
Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber,
So far,
French
so good.
Montana.
I will be here waiting for you. I have a special party announcement. Special party announcement, okay?
Coming to town, coming home to town. Yeah, take that. Sorry, that is the game we decided to get in.
Well, now when we come back, we're gonna talk more with Puffy.
Hey Cassie, how are you? How do you feel about all the allegations with Diddy going on right now?
Right here.
The big K, the little K's.
Adria Sherry English, a famous adult film star and former go-go dancer, has made shocking revelations in a recent interview where she claimed that Puffy's white parties used to feature high-profile and famous personalities. Who are you thinking of? Well, let's see. The iconic Diana Ross, Reverend Al Sharpton, former US presidents, and many, many more. Howard Stern shed light on his experience of visiting one of the music mogul's infamous parties during his initial days in showbiz. While Stern didn't feel anything nefarious was taking place during his visit to one of Puffy's parties, he recounted feeling kinda meh during the whole thing, claiming he wasn't even allowed to use the bathroom upon his arrival to one of these infamous white parties, in which every dress had to appear in white. The radio host claimed he was treated like an a-hole. Not only was apparently Howard left with the schlubs in the backyard, but he further claimed, once again folks, word for word, Puffy was nowhere to be seen during his brief stay at the party. The radio host joked that Puffy might have been at the cool party inside the house, but he had no way of telling because Howard was not allowed to enter Puffy's home, which eventually led him to leaving the party early. Now, pardon me, but Howard Stern, sir, I'm going to address you directly. I found a photo of the two of you together at a white party, so unless you attended multiple parties, and in that case, my dude, be specific, Puffy and Howard did at least say hello at this party. So, what else you lying about today? Usher, once mentored by Puffy and often photographed at his parties, has said that a lot of wild things happened. So, while Usher was just getting his foot in the music industry's door, he spent a year living with Puff Daddy. I believe Puffy actually had, custody of him. Usher did open up about his experience in an interview with, you guessed it, Howard Stern. Although he made it sound like a blast, Usher did hint at something more disturbing beneath the surface. Usher said that he didn't understand what he was even looking at, very curious things were taking place, and perhaps most telling, Usher made it clear he wouldn't want anybody else in his family going anywhere near Puffy. Now, regardless, Usher would actually hand over his protege, Justin Bieber, to Puffy without any supervision. I'm just saying. Once upon a time, there was chatter that actor Leonardo DiCaprio had stepped back from Puffy after a photograph from one of those white parties came to light. Now, a friend of DiCaprio has mentioned that the actor has not been in the mix with the Bad Boy Records boss for a lengthy spell. But way back when Leonardo showed up at the white party in East Hampton, the music star had tagged Leonardo as the #1 person he wanted at that bash. However, a source close to the situation said that Leonardo has not attended a party since 1998. This insider made it clear that Leonardo DiCaprio, very specifically, was not involved in the freak-offs. There's no link to the current legal issues. We get it, you stressed it. Not involved. Anna Wintour has been photographed partying with Puffy several times. Appearing with the rapper and sending him that coveted Met Gala invitation contributed significantly to his acceptance into the upper reaches of the fashion world. Their friendship extended to plenty of Vogue coverage for the rapper, who has enjoyed regular features and photo spreads in the magazine for decades, the most famous of which, probably 1999's Puffy Takes Paris. Puffy would ultimately develop such a complex about his place in the industry that he would allegedly tell his employees, when you speak to me, you should imagine that you're talking to Karl Lagerfeld. Which, you're thinking pretty highly of yourself, pal. Paris Hilton is another powerful person who seemed to give Puffy her stamp of approval by attending his lavish parties over the years. She's been captured at various soirees with Puffy. In one particular photo, they seemed pretty friendly, both sporting their pristine white ensembles. They were engrossed in conversation, and everybody could see that Paris was Paris. She had that big necklace spelling out Paris. Now, as a survivor of wrongful harm and an advocate for survivors, Paris has been strangely silent about all these accusations and allegations, even though she's posted a lot about having an epic time hanging out with them. So Ashton Kutcher and Puffy's friendship goes way back. In the mid-2000s, these guys were so close, they were like, yeah, we're the new Rat Pack. us, Jamie Foxx. And in a 2019 Hot Ones interview, Ashton Kutcher said, like, I got a lot I can't tell. He's like, yeah, I could, nope, can't tell that, nope. Like, come on, pal. Now, he could be forced to speak up soon. Daily Mail claims that Ashton's expecting a subpoena about all of the wrongdoings. And although Puffy has argued his innocence by pleading not guilty, looks like Ashton might be worried about potential betrayal. Now, he hasn't made any public comments, but insiders and sources have been spilling the tea, if you will. A close source was like, hey look, Puffy could say anything, do anything, turn on anyone, and yeah. Now, apparently Ashton does regret his friendship with Puffy considering what has happened. He feels lied to, betrayed, taken for granted, and manipulated. But when you look at how much Puffy and Ashton have consistently praised each other over the last 20 years, I don't know. Artist Good Friday says she first met the now disgraced mogul at an autograph signing at a record store in Toronto back in 1999. And she sang for him, and then she was invited to join a heck of a party.
Ashton Kutcher is somehow involved with the Diddy scandal happening right now. The two used to be really good friends, and Ashton has spoken about their friendship and going to Diddy parties fondly. And now we have proof of it. I mean, here's a photo of him at one of Diddy's infamous white parties from 2009. There's also footage of the star on a swing over a pool, just swinging away, seeming to have a good time. We do know though that Ashton has been to more parties than that, especially in the early 2000s when he and Diddy became quick friends. On an episode of Hot Ones, Ashton opened up about his relationship with Diddy. He said that the rapper forbade him from targeting him on Punk'd, as in the early 2000s Ashton played ruthless practical jokes on his celebrity friends and set up cameras to film their reactions. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table, Ashton recalled telling Diddy. He's like, no, not me, I'm off the table. So that started our conversation. Now Ashton said they became fast friends, adding that they used to hang out and watch football together. The host Sean then asked him if he had any favorite Diddy party stories, and well, Ashton's reaction is now raising some eyebrows. Diddy party stories, man, that was some weird memory lane thing. Now that is just a really weird thing to say. I mean, what was so bad about the memories that he did think of? Did they consist of Diddy or even Ashton himself committing crimes? Looking back at this interview now with everything we know is honestly concerning. Now fans have been flooding the comment section reacting to his comments. As one fan said, he's probably not laughing now. Another said, you can tell the flashbacks are worrisome from the way he sighs, while another chimed in, he was traumatized. It seems like some people can't decide if Ashton was a part of the mistreatment happening at those parties or if he was a victim to all of it. Now, the two of them remained close and started going out to clubs together until around 2003. Diddy wrote about his friend Ashton and explained why their party days were coming to an end in a 2010 Time article. The rapper claims that the end of things was caused by Ashton's committed relationship with actress Demi Moore. One night he was with Demi, possibly for the first time, and a few weeks later he called him to tell him he was in love. Combs wrote, with Jamie Foxx, we were a rat pack, hanging out, going to clubs, but their clubbing ended there, the rapper clarified. But after being together for 8 years, Ashton and Demi finally split up in 2011. Diddy clarified though that the two of them stayed close despite their disagreements, even though Ashton chose to give up on parties. Though we did see that he attended one white party with Demi, but that seems to be it. Now, Ashton pretty much confirmed this in a joint interview he did with Diddy on The Late Late Show with James Corden. Ashton said, if you're a single man, there's probably no greater human being in the world to hang out with. This is 20 years ago, 19 years ago, we were having a lot of fun together. Now, after Ashton and Demi got divorced, it appears that Ashton didn't go back to the Diddy lifestyle. I mean, Diddy's 50th birthday that took place in 2019 was the biggest star-studded event, but Ashton and his then-wife Mila Kunis were not in attendance. So maybe it's safe to say that the two really did drift apart and were not in contact. One thing is clear though is that they used to be really close, and at that time, who knows what those two were doing, and that has raised some suspicion. Last week, Ashton was finally spotted in public since all of the Diddy stuff and his connection to the case has come out. He was seen cruising the streets of Los Angeles, he was driving solo, and seemed to be pretty somber. Now, Ashton nor his wife Mila have come out and made a direct statement about Diddy and his crimes. But it is said that Ashton himself is worried about what could happen with this whole Diddy situation. An insider source revealed to Daily Mail that Ashton absolutely regrets his friendship with Diddy, considering what has happened. He feels lied to, betrayed, taken for granted, and manipulated. They continued by saying everyone who is close to Diddy fears the possibility of Diddy making up false allegations to clear his own name. Although Ashton is frightened by the prospect of being involved in the case, he's also prepared to completely cooperate with the authorities because he has nothing to hide, they said. But I don't know, he seems so worried about everything, and I'm not sure an innocent person would act that way. Personally, I just want to know what he's hiding. Now, what's really going on with Diddy? Well, in November last year, he was handed a lawsuit by his ex-girlfriend Cassie for mistreating her. They settled out of court the next day, and Diddy proclaimed his innocence. Almost a year later though, video footage of an incident Cassie was talking about at a hotel, and Diddy denied, was leaked. Now, it made Diddy look really bad, and people became disgusted with him. Cassie then gained more support over this, and people started to believe her as a victim. The footage was sent to CNN, but no one knows where it came from, as Diddy allegedly bribed the hotel to delete the footage. Now, Diddy was in jail for other reasons when the video was released, and his lawyers put out a statement about it. They said the videotape was leaked to CNN for one reason alone: to mortally wound the reputation and the prospect of Sean Combs successfully defending himself against these allegations, the lawyers Mark Anifilo and Tenny Garagos wrote. In an email that was sent to the defense that was submitted to the court, one of the prosecutors, Emily A. Johnson, denied that the government was behind the leak, writing that the government possessed no surveillance video at all from the Intercontinental prior to CNN's public broadcast. She wrote that any accusations of the government leak lacked a good faith basis. And yeah, I gotta say, this accusation seems far-fetched. Now, the next big thing that happened to Diddy was that his two homes were raided by the FBI in March. They were obviously building a case against the star for whatever charges they had, but Diddy denied any wrongdoing. Diddy was then handed another lawsuit by producer Rodney Jones, where Rodney accused Diddy of mistreating him and making him a witness to various crimes. Now, more lawsuits continued, and on September 26, 2024, Diddy was arrested. A 14-page indictment against him included dozens of disturbing allegations about Diddy, including claims that he orchestrated and filmed freak-off parties. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him, and he put together multiple bail packages, but the judge denied all of them, so he'll be staying in jail for the time being. Now, Diddy intends to testify during his trial, which has been set for May 5th, 2025. But that's not all though, as at the beginning of October at a news conference, Texas-based attorney Tony Busby said that he is representing 120 accusers with allegations against the entertainment mogul that date back more than 20 years. The lawyer said more than 3,000 individuals have come forward to his office with accusations against Diddy, and that he plans to begin filing lawsuits in various states within the next 30 days. Now, these victims span across 25 different states and are all different ages.
Puffy's recent arrest on racketeering charges and more things I can't say has sent shockwaves throughout Hollywood, turning the spotlight on his infamous past parties. And as the scandal unfolds, a lot of celebrities once linked to his star-studded events have noticeably remained silent. So in the midst of the controversy, a resurfaced photo from the 4th of July party in the year 2000 has reignited buzz on social media. So in the image we see Puffy in bed alongside Jennifer Lopez, Aaliyah, Andre Harrell, Natane Adcock, and Damon Dash. Most folks are dressed in white, minus Puffy, JLo, and Natane, adding to the intrigue of the moment. And then there's another photo. We see only JLo and Puffy cuddled up on what appears to be, once again, this oversized bed covered in white pillows. And after seeing the group photo, folks online are calling the industry cruel, wild, awful. Somebody said, poor Aaliyah dealing with Puffy and some other Artists who we can't talk about? Well, another wrote, like, Aaliyah specifically was so vulnerable and unprotected. Like, OMG, that poor girl was in all the wrong spaces. That industry was so cruel the way they treated her. So look, if you look at the photo without the context, it could capture maybe an intimate, a joyful moment, a playful moment. Or maybe that's just what they want this photo to convey. The cheerful scene now stands in stark contrast to the grave allegations that Puffy currently faces, casting a shadow over those once glamorous memories. Fans on social media have reignited a lot of discussions around the resurfaced photos, with many expressing surprise and reevaluating Jennifer Lopez's silence amid the allegations. They also wonder whether or not the Jenny from the Block singer was left traumatized during her time with the rapper. Somebody said, that divorce with Ben Affleck makes more sense now. The Let's Get Loud singer at the time dated Puffy for like 2 years before calling it quits in 2001. Puffy and JLo had a roller coaster of a relationship. And fans want to know, like, just how traumatizing was it for JLo? And also, what else is there to say about it? This relationship was one for the history books at the turn of the century. It was turbulent, but hey, according to the duo, they wouldn't change a thing about how it all went about. Or at least that's what they're saying. So when JLo previously opened up about the dating history, she explained that the duo met just as she was entering stardom. She was preparing for the release of her debut album, which Puffy helped to produce. Talking to CBS in 2019, she said that he became kind of a mentor to her in that moment. They had this kind of crazy, tumultuous relationship that ended in a bang. And despite the hardships in their relationship, JLo recalled the lessons that Puffy taught her while they were together. He gave her so many cues, taught her so many things. She mentioned this in an interview with Access Hollywood in 2014. She'll always be grateful to him for that. She loves that he could be so supportive of her so many years later. There was still so much mutual respect, admiration, and love there. Now, if we're looking at how iconic this relationship was, Puffy was JLo's date to the Grammy Awards in the year 2000, where she wore that iconic green Versace dress, the one that we all reference, the reason that we have Google Images. So when you look back at that moment, Puffy told Entertainment Tonight back in 2017 like it was just a wow moment. They were really stepping up their game as far as what they were wearing, how they were going to use fashion. He thought it was really going to change the game as far as for her and for fashion. He didn't know how big it was going to be, but it was a great moment for her, and he said she deserved it. So on the other hand, JLo described this relationship and this point of time as being crazy. She was totally crying, she was going nuts, her whole life was in a tailspin. She said that she knew he was cheating on another woman even though she never technically caught him. Like, she just knew. He'd say he was going to a club for a couple of hours, he'd never come back that night. You trust your instincts. In 2003, JLo opened up about her relationship to Vibe magazine, and she explained that it was the first time she was in a relationship with someone who wasn't faithful. News outlets have reported that JLo did not deny knocking on hotel doors trying to find Puffy. She's like, I can't remember right now, but I won't say it didn't happen. She mentioned that she left him because, like, she had to think. Does she want to be home in 10 years wondering where somebody is at 3 in the morning? I don't. I need my sleep. The Let's Get Loud hitmaker and the I'll Be Missing You rapper broke up in February of 2001. That's when the rumors of his infidelity began to circulate in the mainstream. Now at the time, Puffy's publicist said that, he confirmed that he and his love, JLo, have in fact broken up. He wanted to put all the rumors surrounding the relationship to rest. At that difficult time, they asked for privacy. So then after this, JLo explained that she met Chris Judd, a backup dancer. She would have a short marriage with him. And she mentioned, like, coming out of this crazy relationship, she meets this sweet person who's so refreshing. But marriage is not just about love. She thought she had learned that in her first marriage. She loved Chris, she still loves him, he's one of the best people. It wasn't an easy thing to walk away from, but she admitted that they didn't have what it took to make a marriage work. Chris knew that the last thing she ever wanted in this bleeping world was to hurt him. If we're gonna take to social media commentary, somebody's like, hey, has anybody ever considered the fact that JLo might be traumatized from Puffy, which is why she can't stay married? Well, look at this. JLo revealed in a 2001 interview with Rolling Stone that Puffy would often threaten to divorce her, despite the fact that the two actually never got married. She said, like, a lot. He told me many times, I want a divorce. She explained that this threat would come up often, usually when they were struggling to find time to see each other because hectic schedules, and Puffy, frustrated by their lack of time together, would just say, I'll be away so much, or I can't get away, but where do I send the papers? So after this, JLo admitted, like, it was exhausting. She mentioned, like, it was a great time in her life, but it was also scary. They broke up many times before it hit the mainstream news. They got back together, they broke up again, nobody knew about it, it was emotionally exhausting, and she tried to joke. She was like, oh, it was good that I did it when I was young. So Jennifer's first husband, Ojani Noah, previously spoke about how he would get jealous because JLo was still spending so much time with Puffy while the two were married. He said, I rang Jen, asked why she was going out with him on dates. She said it was just business, this is what I'm being told I have to do. Her husband was jealous. He was like, he would scream, but you're married. So the pop diva tied the knot with Johnny in 1997. She was married to him for less than a year. One of her friends, one of JLo's friends, photographer, journalist, socialite Salma Francesca, believes JLo never got over the romance with Puffy. And look, given all of what we've talked about today, there's a lot of folks online that are questioning why JLo hasn't talked out about current events, and it's fueled a lot of speculation and debate. She hasn't really addressed her ex's allegations. Yes, she is busy with her divorce from Ben Affleck. But despite her silence, fans have dredged up a Wendy Williams show interview, which spoke volumes, where JLo's mom, Guadalupe or Lupe Rodriguez, really blatantly opposed her daughter getting back together with Puffy, or even the idea of it. So when the duo were dating, there was this whole thing, there was a Manhattan nightclub event, somebody else kind of got sentenced to something, and it was totally crazy. And yeah, Mama Bear had something to say about it. So besides JLo, photos of a lot of Hollywood stars, including Leonardo DiCaprio, have also appeared online at these crazy parties. There was a video where Puffy called the Oscar winner his favorite guest. Sarah Jessica Parker's been pictured at Puffy's events over the years. Marlon Wayans, a frequent guest at these parties, has publicly said, I never witnessed anything illegal, I left early. And, everybody's saying things, but I think it's the silence that's really speaking volumes right now. Khloe Kardashian has famously described one bash. She mentioned that folks were in the nude. She talked about things in detail that I can't talk about online. Now, last week, a second judge did refuse to grant bail to Puffy. U.S. District Judge Andrew L. Carter said the government had proved that, there was no freaking way that he could leave and it would be safe for the community, and that he won't, tamper with witnesses. For decades, Puff Daddy's parties were the place to be. From his annual Hamptons White Party to the blowout birthday bashes, the lavish champagne and caviar-filled soirees were attended by the likes of Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Leonardo DiCaprio, and I could go on and on. For his 50th birthday, Puff Daddy partied with the members of the Kardashian family, Pharrell, Kate Beckinsale, Naomi Campbell, so many people. Well, new images are now going viral on social media and show a lot of photos of these white parties with the megastars. Specifically, in images that have resurfaced in the news, it appears everybody in attendance is holding a big bottle of, something fun, and you see Leonardo DiCaprio when he was a bit younger, enjoying a puff, appears to be in good spirits. Even Mariah Carey poses in white in another photo. Ashton Kutcher, who has spoken out many times about being at these parties and the debauchery, he's seen in an image wearing white, hanging from a tree. There's other photos showing the party waitresses dressed in their white angel wing attire. Now, some celebrities have spoken up about their appearances, specifically the Kardashians. In a 2014 episode of their hit show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe recalled hitting up a Puff Daddy bash in Las Vegas. And when asked about what went down when, things were partying, she was kind of mum. Same thing, you ask anybody. Somebody asked Ashton Kutcher back in 2019, and he's like, I got a lot I can't tell. And then he was flipping through the Rolodex in his head, and he was like, yeah, I can't tell that story either. Which, tell us now, folks. It's a court case. In 2016, when Howard Stern asked Usher, who lived with Puff Daddy for a year when he was getting into the industry, whether he would let anybody he knew attend a, Puff Daddy party, the singer was like, yeah, no. Obviously, following the accusations leveled against Puff Daddy in the recent lawsuits, a lot of stars have been distancing themselves from the infamous parties instead of bragging about them. One in particular, Puff Daddy's longtime rival 50 Cent, saying that he's been very vocal about not going to Puffy parties, not doing anything like that. He said there's just an uncomfortable energy connected to it. Whereas Puffy's friend Ray J was like, I've never seen the stuff that's being said. I've never been in the rooms that people are talking about. I don't think they existed. He's like, oh, a lot of people in the industry can agree with me on that sense. So look, according to the sources, unsavory behavior took place at these after parties for the parties. So apparently what happened at 2 a.m. paled in comparison to what happened at 5 a.m., which okay, leave before 2. There was another source who wrangled guests apparently for these white parties that happened between 2006 and 2011 and mentioned that yes, the high profile celebrities would leave around 2 to 3 a.m. because that's when the party was taking a turn for the naughtier. That's when folks would start to lose their clothes. That was kind of a signal for people to get the heck out. That's when all the fun substances would come out to play. These benders would last until 7 a.m. There would be professional workers present who would do whatever you want. So who was all spotted? Who were these high profile celebrities? Well, like I mentioned before, Paris Hilton, Mariah Carey, they were spotted enjoying the lavish and extravagant atmosphere. Usher was at a lot of parties. He's mentioned that wild things happened, but it's kept rather mum. Beyonce and Jay-Z have both been photographed but have stayed silent about the accusations. Diana Ross was at these parties, Owen Wilson. Look, at the end of the day, the indictment has kind of sparked a lot of debate over the contrast between Puff Daddy's cultural influence at the height of his career with the white parties, and then you've got to compare all the behavior behind closed doors during those years and the year sets, with some folks saying he should have been arrested like 20 years ago. All these parties were very popular from the start. They attracted entertainment talent, industry titans. The original guest list reportedly numbered like 1,000 people who were required to wear white, at least according to the Hollywood Reporter. And Martha Stewart, who was a guest of the first party, was like, having an entire party dressed in white was an amazing sight. Paris Hilton described the initial event as iconic. Everyone was there, and like being the socialite of the early 2000s, she would know. These white parties grew very quickly, and from the events that were initially organized in the suburbs, but grew to be like the epicenter of LA. Now, Puff Daddy did use some of these parties to raise funds for various causes he supported, demonstrating his social influence at the time. I know there was one that he hosted in 2009 with Ashton Kutcher, mind you, to raise awareness of malaria. And the parties got bigger and bigger as corporate sponsors came into play. Puff Daddy used it to launch a lot of different brands, philanthropic efforts. I know one party was sponsored by Vitamin Water. Now, technically, the last official white party on record in LA was in 2009, but like I said, we do have records of these parties going until 2011. So there was a 1999 interview with Entertainment Tonight where Puff Daddy talked about the white parties that hit social media, and in 1999, he was saying, they don't want me to party anymore, but we're not gonna stop. We will continue to have fun, to unite people from all walks of life. And he made a prediction. He said, you will hear about my holidays. They're gonna shut them down, maybe they're gonna arrest me. They're gonna do all kinds of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. He said that like whenever you bring a different element into people's environment, things that broaden people's horizons, people get intimidated. So there's a lot of folks that are out there that feel intimidated by it. Folks, he was saying this in 1999. It is now 2024. He also joked about his tactics for keeping women from ditching the get-togethers back in 2002 with Conan O'Brien. So when Conan was like, hey, how do you throw a great party? And Puff Daddy was like, woman. Beautiful man for the ladies, of course. You need some water. You know, I don't know if guys have noticed this, but a lot of ladies drink water at parties. So if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave. Gotta keep them in there. Need locks on the doors. Now when Conan was like, hey, that sounds dangerous, Diddy was like, no, it's a fun time. Conan, props to you for realizing early on that this was not it. So we're gonna go back. Who else has been spotted at these crazy parties that might have something to say? Well, apparently Cat Williams has had to turn down $50 million 4 times to protect her integrity and some other things. Puffy be wanting to party and you got to tell him no. You gotta tell him no. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you, that's why I can say them so freely. Now, at the time, like, there was also a tease that maybe, you know, there's some more things coming to light. And you're not wrong. Once again, all these folks seem to be mind readers today because the more I talk about things, the more that pops up like whack-a-mole. Kendra Wilkinson. We all remember Girl Next Door, right? With Hugh Hefner. So she went to 1 or 2 of Puffy's parties in their heyday, and she said, hey, I had a great time, I didn't really see anything. She's like, yeah, like I never saw anything bad happening around me, like, and she's not saying that something bad didn't happen, she's just saying that nothing bad ever happened to her, which, okay, at least she made a statement. That's more than Beyonce and Jay-Z and Ashton's kind of half statement. So Beyonce has allegedly possibly broken her silence. There's this leaked audio clip that's been going around online. Some folks think it's AI, some folks think it's real. I don't think it's been officially debunked one way or another yet because Beyonce still hasn't made an official statement. And obviously Beyonce has been heavily criticized by fans for rubbing shoulders with the Bad Boy Records owner, with a lot of folks being like, hey, you should say something, you should say this is bad. So going back to the recording, apparently she admits to being at the notorious part of the parties. She's like, oh yeah, my involvement in those parties was for entertainment purposes. I had no idea about any of that terrible stuff going on. It is crucial to separate my presence at a party from any illegal activities that might have been occurring. You know I stand against exploitation and violence, so like let's make that clear. Now, obviously folks are debating the authenticity of it, so you let me know in the comments what you think. Okay.
Diddy is in jail for some terrible crimes he committed, and it seems like the Kardashians are somehow all wrapped up into this, as they've attended his parties multiple times and considered the music mogul a friend. Now recently, photos have been leaked and clips have resurfaced of the Kardashians at Diddy parties. There's one photo that was released of Diddy, Paris Hilton, and Kim Kardashian all together at one of Diddy's white parties. Now this photo was taken in 2006, 1 year before they started filming Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So even before they really rose to fame, Kim was still seen with the star. Now this begs the question, did Diddy help her gain her fame? Diddy was said to be able to make anyone a star, and we know he was friends with Ray J. Now do you see what I'm getting at here? Just a thought. Now, the Kardashians have been partying with Diddy for almost 2 decades now, and they are very close. Now, Khloe even interned with Diddy and went with him on tour when she was younger. Recently, a clip from Keeping Up has resurfaced with Khloe talking about being at a Diddy party. Now, it might have been funny then in 2014, but 10 years later, now what she says is just straight up concerning. In one scene, Khloe is talking with her sister Kourtney. "So, who was you with this weekend?" Kourtney asked. "A bunch of my friends, including Diddy, Quincy Combs, Justin Bieber, French Montana," Khloe responded. Now elsewhere in the episode, Khloe described her experience attending Diddy's party while bowling with Kourtney and their friend. "I haven't been to bed yet. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m., she shared. "Well, this party, I think half the people were naked," and Khloe then told Kourtney that she would have loved it. Now Kourtney was unfazed about these comments on the partiers stripping down at the party, and she then turned to Khloe's friend to ask if she had met her sister's new crew of friends at the party. "No, well, kind of," Khloe's friend replied, to which Khloe jumped in snapping, stop talking." Now when her friend tried to defend herself, telling Khloe that she hadn't revealed anything, Khloe ordered her friend to stop talking again. Now this is just weird. What did Khloe not want her friend to say? Why was she so worried? It's just so strange. Now 2 years later, Khloe then invited Diddy to appear on her Cocktails with Khloe series, where she continuously praised the star. "Well, I know you're known for the parties. When you think of a good party, that was an epic night too. Every night," Kourtney reflected. "That night was so fun because all the girls ditched me, so it was just me and the boys. It was me, Kanye, Corey Gamble, Tyga, and we were all just hanging out and it was fun. I loved it." Now Khloe then added, "I don't know how you have all the energy, but that's who you are and that's why people are so drawn to you, because you're so electric," she said to Diddy. "No matter what, no matter how much you work, you don't sleep, you don't do anything, but that's just you." Now Diddy's friendship with the family was still going strong 3 years later, as Khloe posted pictures beside Diddy and her siblings, Kim and Kylie, on December 16th, 2019. She posted photos from Diddy's 50th birthday party and then captioned the post, "Nothing like a Diddy party." Now the Kardashians and Diddy have been in similar social circles for years, but they have distanced themselves in recent times. Right before Diddy's houses were raided in March of this year, Kim reportedly hit unfollow on Instagram, making her one of the many Hollywood celebrities to disassociate themselves from him. Now Kim's ex-boyfriend, Ray J, has spoken about his own experience at Diddy parties and said a lot of people in the industry were unaware of anything related to the allegations and the charges against the rapper. Now, the Kardashian family hasn't been implicated in any of the charges, but maybe they saw some things and they didn't report them. None of them have spoken out about what has happened with their great friend Diddy, but a resurfaced clip of Kanye West calling out Diddy has been going around too. You see, 2 years ago in 2022, Kanye West claimed that Diddy was working with law enforcement, and that's why he was getting away with some of the stuff that he was doing. In the interview for Drink Champs in 2022, Kanye called out celebrities for allegedly working with law enforcement to turn on other celebrities so they could avoid prison. Now, one of the celebs he called out by name was Diddy. Now, the whole interview was eventually deleted due to some offensive things Kanye said, as it was 2022, and this is when he was having what appeared to be some sort of breakdown. But with people now digging this interview up, his comments about Diddy hold more weight. Kanye said that Diddy is making deals to keep himself out of trouble. "The reason why you gotta talk is because you did a deal, you effing fed. That's why you've gotta come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all of that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're gonna pull my card," he said. Now, a lot of people didn't take this seriously, as Kanye was acting, well, insane in 2022 and was just full of hate, but it seems like he might have been right about this. In the end though, Diddy was arrested, so if he did have a deal, it seems like it didn't work out. Now in 2022, again, Kanye posted texts between him and Diddy, and one included Kanye saying, "F you, you fed." It seems like Kanye knew there was something up with Diddy the whole time, and now am I saying that we should always listen to what Kanye says? No, I'm not, but hey, maybe he has some points when it comes to pop culture. Now, what happened at these Diddy parties? Well, from past witnesses and attendees, it seems like a lot of crimes. According to former music industry insider Tom Swoop, he had been to the parties and has posted about it on his YouTube channel. He broke down how the parties worked for the viewers and claimed that the parties were separated into tiers of access. There was general admission, then a series of tiers ending with entrance to the inner circle, where the real partying went on. Now, this allegedly included humiliating male and female guests on the promise of record deals or money. Now, an aspiring singer named Tania was invited to one of Diddy's parties, and she's now spoken out publicly about what she experienced. Tania told the Soft White Underbelly YouTube channel that her phone was taken by security upon entry. She later said, "You have the pool and they're playing loud house music. It makes you feel kind of woozy, like it's a rave or something. Everybody was walking around drunk. It's still 7 a.m. so the sun is coming up and people are walking around naked, they're in the pool skinny dipping, and they're drinking mimosas in the pool." When she went into the house, she was completely shocked by what she saw. "I don't judge people, but you know when people are out of their mind," she said. "I'm seeing stuff you see in the movies. This corner they're doing this corner they're doing that," she said. Now, YouTuber Jeff Wittek also spoke about going to one of Diddy's parties in Miami. Jeff said it took place at a mansion that had like 8 stories, and that every time he went up a level, the weirder things got. Now, he didn't go into too much detail, but you can really just imagine what was going on. Jeff also said he witnessed people getting it on at the party right in front of him, and he said that he did not participate in that part, but he did drink a lot. "It was just crazy. I was literally there and lived through it," he said. Now, Diddy has also been hit with 20+ lawsuits from people who are celebrities, normal people, different genders, have different ages, and lived all over the United States. Cases are stacking up against Diddy, and it doesn't seem like they'll stop anytime soon, so now we just have to wait and see if any other celebrities are connected in his case, which honestly, I think they will be. Diddy is in jail for the crime ring he ran out of his infamous parties, but now photos are being leaked and we know what the parties looked like and which celebrities were invited. Now, a lot of photos are from Diddy's white parties where everyone wore all white. In various photos, we can see celebrities hanging out together, like from his July 2nd party in the year 2000. An image of the star and Jennifer Lopez was taken of them sitting on a pile of pillows. Now, JLo and Diddy dated for 2 years, from 1999 to 2001, until Jennifer discovered that he cheated on her. But while they were together, she would frequent his parties often. Now, there's a group picture from this event, and it shows celebrities like Russell Simmons, Aaliyah, Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, Andre Harrell, and Veronica Webb. Then there are photos from a Labor Day party on August 29th, 1998. In one photo, you can see Diddy standing on his balcony just watching everyone, which isn't as innocent as it once seemed. There's also photos of Leonardo DiCaprio in attendance. Now, in the past, Diddy once named Leo as the #1 person on his white party invitation list, which raises some eyebrows. A source close to Leo, though, says that he has not been in contact with Combs for years, saying he never attended freak-offs and has nothing to do with the case. Now, the pair were last seen together in 2019 when Leo attended Diddy's 50th birthday party. The source went on to say Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He's attended a few of his parties back in the early 2000s, but literally everyone did. He has nothing to do with any of that world, so for anyone to assume that he'll get roped into this based on a few grainy photos that are more than 20 years old is ridiculous. I don't know though, it's a little suspicious considering Leo was one of the #1 people on Diddy's list to invite. More celebrities seen in these photos include Chevy Chase, Russell Brand, Vera Wang, Jay-Z, and various music industry lawyers and businessmen. Some celebrities who regularly attended these parties reportedly included members of the Kardashian family, Paris Hilton, Hilton, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, and Martha Stewart. Now in 2008, Paris Hilton even spoke out about attending Diddy's first ever party in 1998, saying it was iconic and everyone was there. Speaking about his first party, Diddy said, "There were 200 people sitting out here, just having a down-home cookout." Adding he included Leonardo DiCaprio after he just finished Titanic was there as well. Now when it came to his guests, Diddy has also said that he has the craziest mix of guests, telling Oprah Winfrey in 2006 that he brought some of my boys from Harlem and relatives from down south together with socialites because he wanted to strip away everyone's image and put us all in the same color and on the same level. So there was a real mix of people in attendance. Now an inspiring singer who was invited to one of Diddy's parties had a horrible experience and has spoken out about what she went through. Tania told the Soft White Underbelly YouTube channel that her phone was taken by security upon entry, leaving her with only photo booth pictures as proof of her actually being there. Now she released these photos, but they honestly look normal, which is crazy because she claims that there were horrifying things going on inside Diddy's house during the party. She said she tried telling people what happened to her before, but it was too crazy that they didn't believe me. Then when she went into the house, she was completely shocked though by what she saw. "I don't judge people, but you know when people are out of their mind," she said. "I'm seeing stuff that you see in the movies, this corner they're doing this corner they're doing that." She said she had a bad feeling about it and left, which was honestly the best call as it might have saved her life.